Phil from 3DP UK Tech Channel. Today's review is on the Snapmaker a350t. Now this is the upgraded version of the original A350 with some tweaks to the package that you get. So we're going to cover some of that in the videos. So today's video is based on the enclosure itself and on the printer, but in 3D printing only. Now anyone who knows this printer, you can do 3 different things. So you can do your 3D printing, you can do your CNC and your lasering. But to break it down, I thought I would focus on the 3D printing. As you can see here, we have done some models already. So we're going to take a look at those. We're going to put a print on as well. And we're going to cover some of the videos and the time lapsing from that. This isn't a Core XY printer, so the speed for this isn't going to be up against some of your new brands that are going Core XY printing. So, but if you want something that's going to cover 3 different things, then this is the one for you. The enclosure is part of the package if you choose that bundle, and it's fairly expensive, but as you can see, the actual look of it is really sleek. I really like this enclosure. It's probably one of the best I've seen on the market to date. As you can see, you just literally, you can access it from the front or the back, and you can also put your touchscreen that's normally on the base here to the front, and it has its own little location like so. As you can see, it's all magnetic as well. You have inside the enclosure LED lights that run up along both sides of the frame itself, which gives you a really clear image if you're doing any time lapsing or if you want to check on your print. But obviously once you shut the door, the actual acrylic really blocks out that light. So even if you are doing time lapsing and you've got it somewhere where you don't want too much light emitted from it, this is the enclosure for you. It also comes with, in the corner, an extraction, which you should be able to see just beyond the wires down here. So if you're doing lasering, you can basically extract the fumes from that. I'm not going to focus on the actual build because it's very extensive. It took me about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. The manual that come with it was really great. Probably one of the best manuals I have seen on the market as well. Very clear, very detailed. It is a full installation. Like I say, you are going to be learning how to put a printer together by using the Snapmaker. You literally go from the base, you're connecting up all the gantry, literally everything you can see here, you've got to cover. The good thing about doing that is you learn the printer itself, you learn how to use it, which I always think with some of these new branded printers which take minutes to set up, that's a great thing if you want to get printing, but when something goes wrong you don't know where it is, how to find it, how to take it apart. So this is really bringing you back to the baseline of 3D print setup. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look over the filling head. So as I said, it is a 3-in-1, so you can swap these over. There is a quick swap tool that you can add to this. This particular one that I'm reviewing isn't a quick swap, so it does take time to swap over. You've got a couple of bolts on the back and on the bottom as well, and it just lifts off, and you can swap it over to the CNC or the laser. So taking a look at the printing head itself, it is a direct extruder, as you can see. I have put some filament in there already, and that is how I've managed to get this particular model printed. This is by Pipecox. There is some moving parts on it, so I wanted to check to see whether that would work okay. As you can see, it's a dual filament, so you've got that gradient color throughout the print, and I think this has come out really well. The bed adhesion, as you can see from the bottom, has come out perfect as well. In terms of the printing speed, I was probably looking at about 50 MMS on that, so it's relatively slow in the big scheme of 3D printing now. But in terms of the quality, once it was printed, I was blown away by the quality of that. So let's take a look at the printing head. As you can see with the wiring, it's nice and clear. There's no sort of obstruction. I did, however, have to move the filament spool down onto the gantry so that it could actually fit in the enclosure. if you have it in the location that they specify in the printed manual, it actually tells you to have it higher. The problem is it then exceeds the limit of the enclosure. It's not an issue if you're not using in the enclosure, but because of this review we are using it, so I did have to lower it. Now it doesn't interfere with the movement of the gantry, so it didn't cause me any issues, and all of the prints that I'm showing today are based with it in its current location. Okay, so let's take a look at the printing head itself. So it's a 0.4 nozzle. So in here is the access to the extruder itself. If let's just pull that to one side, so it just clips off and then opens up, and there you have access to the extruder. So if there's any blockages, you do have full access to that. You could potentially take it all completely apart if there's any other issues with the motor, etc. But the fact that they've taken that into consideration is really good, and you can also tighten it up using that as well. So just by pushing it back with this latch system, you can push the latch system back into place, and then that's sealed. So there's no taking apart stuff to be able to access the extruder, which I think is a really good feature. Okay, so let's take a look at the screen as well. As you can see, it is a touch screen. It is magnetic. You can have it on the base of the printer or on the outside of the enclosure, so you don't need to open up the door to access it at all times. It does give you a display. It's got the printer name, so you can rename that. It is connected to the network, the current temperature of the nozzle and the bed. And if you want to start as well, you've got some option to start print. You've got the USB, which is just on the right hand side, along with all the other cables. It's clearly marked as well. You can swipe to the right, and it gives you access to all of the other controls, such as your movement. So let's just do that now and move it into the homing position. So as you can see, that is moving into place. You can see that's moved into the homing position, so it's at the top for the printing head, and the bed moves forward. If you want to move that back, you can literally just go to the settings on this touchscreen and move them back into position. So by doing that, you can change also the distance and the speed. So just by pressing, you've got full control. If you press quicker, it goes quicker as well, and it stops in that position. And you can do the same with the Z as well, like so. So it's very intuitive. I do like the touch screen. There is a few limitations with it, but nothing that would stop you from using it properly. So you've also got access to all your machine details, the firmware, if there's any updates, so we can click on that. You can literally just check for updates, and then it says basically the latest edition is installed. So always do that. Also gives you some really easy to use guides, so 3D printing, lasering, etc. So that's always good to have that to hand as well. In terms of the changing over, you would really need to, with the quick swap kit, changing over the bed is almost seamless. It takes minutes. But with this not being the quick swap edition, you have to take it off the build plate, and then you have to unscrew all of the bolts and remove the 3D printing bed, which is just under here. So this bit here, there's probably about 30 screws or 25 screws that you need to remove. You need to do that every time to swap it over to CNC or lasering. They each have their own individual beds. Like I say, with the quick swap, that makes it seamless. The quick swap is also for the head as well, so you can swap that over quickly. But if you're using these machines and you're not going to be changing it each time, then I don't see that being a major issue, not having the quick swap. But if your particular project covers from 3D printing to lasering to CNC, and that project all joins in and it's all part of the same thing, then that does add a lot of time, and that makes it more difficult. So the quick swap would be ideal. In terms of the quality of this machine, as you can see, this is probably one of the most premium printers that I've ever had the opportunity of reviewing. The quality of the materials they've used is probably the best I've seen. So they have gone for the best quality in terms of the motors, the actual frame itself is all die-cast metal. So even to so much as the enclosure itself, I think is premium as well. They've covered everything from lights to the exhaust to interlocks and stuff like that. So when you open it and it's lasering or printing, it should stop. So I think that is brilliant as well. The other features that I like about this is the fact that it is a 3-in-1. So it gives the user the opportunity to use lots of different features on this. The other thing to focus on is the footprint of this as well. It's taking up quite a huge footprint in terms of the enclosure and the printer. The fact that it's a bed slinger, as you see from when it homed, it comes right to the front, so you're going to need a vast area for this printer. That is something to take into consideration if you are planning to buy this. But if you're wanting a multi-purpose tool, this is definitely the one for you. Like I said earlier, it is a slow printer, so if you're going from Core XY to this printer, you are going to be surprised by the amount of time a print takes. So the model that I showed you earlier, which was the Pipecox skull, this took around about 23 hours. Now on a Core XY printer, it's probably going to take about 10 to 15 hours, probably even less if you tweak your slicer properly. But this isn't a fast printer, and anyone who's expecting that is going to be surprised. The other thing I liked was there's some models on the disc. This is a vase. Now you probably wouldn't be able to use this. There's no weight to it. It's fairly thin and flexible, but the quality of that, it's probably one of the best pre-sliced models that I've ever had off a printer in terms of quality. As you can see, there's zero fails on that. This was I think was a 12-hour print, but as you can see with the black as well, the quality of that is just absolutely amazing. In terms of my thoughts about this printer, would I purchase it myself? Yeah, I probably would. The enclosure does ramp up the cost of this printer, but if you're going to be using all three features, the enclosure is a must, especially with the CNC being quite messy and the laser being quite dangerous and the fumes, etc. So it's a good idea to get that. If you're going to spend the money on this printer, why not just breach a little bit more and get something to build it up to the point where it is the full package. Like I say, the quick swap is not an imperative add-on, but if you're wanting to swap over, definitely do that. As you can see, the whole package is premium as well. Really like it. So do now just show a few time lapses of some prints that I've done on here, and then what we'll do is we'll just go through some of the main specs, so the build plate temperatures that it can hit, and the filament nozzle temperature and stuff like that, some speeds. We'll capture some of those specs and then my final thoughts. Then in the next video we'll cover the CNC, and then in the next video after that we'll cover the lasering. I just wanted to break it down into 3 individual components because there's so much about this printer that I can show you, but I just want to make sure that I feature each step as clear as possible.
PCBWay are a PCB board manufacturer. On their website you will find that they have lots of amazing deals, lots of competitions, lots of vouchers that you can use if you're planning to do any purchases. Really easy to use website as well. Not only do they do PCB board manufacturing, they also do PCB board prototyping, PCB assembly, advanced PCB, FPC rigid flex. They also do 3D printing and CNC. So check them out, PCBWay.com. Okay, so let's talk about the Snapmaker 2.0 A350t specs now, with a build volume of 320 by 340 and 325 on the Z. It's a large enough build volume to have some really cool projects to be able to print it. It also supports PLA, PETG, ABS and TPU and various other filaments, but it is restricted at the nozzle temperature of 275 degrees. The bed temperature can reach 80 degrees and it's a Bowden extruder. It also has a 5-inch touchscreen, Wi-Fi enabled, and it's easy to assemble following the in-depth guide. Yes, it is a 3-in-1 printer, but today we have focused mainly on the 3D side of it. With the A350, you can fully upgrade this with various other add-ons available from the website. It has USB ports that you can connect up and the various cables connecting up the actual enclosure, so you've got fully controllable enclosure such as the lights and the rear fan that you can see in the picture now. In the kit you will receive linear modules, a 3D module, a laser module, a CNC module, a controller Cortex M4 processor. It also has a magnetic heat bed and it's fully removable, so you can flex off that print if it's a struggle to get off. It's a Snapmaker 3-in-1 software is also on the USB, which is the Luban software. I did use this as part of my review and it worked perfectly. It also was supplied with a 1 kilo filament, which is what I am using in most of my prints, which was nice to have. Something like that is an initial kit, because a lot of other brands only supply a very small sample. The other thing I liked about the Snapmaker was the premium build quality. They have really not scrimped on the actual quality of the actual frame, the printing heads, the modules, the actual the enclosure is of a premium quality, and everything you see on the screen now was so easy to put together following their in-depth guide. And the nice thing about the enclosure is that you can have the touchscreen on the external part, so you really don't have to access that, especially if you're using the CNC or the laser machine, which I will cover in later videos. So as you can see, the screen has lots of information on there that it basically tells you what's going on. You can activate the enclosure's lights. You can also activate the enclosure's fan. So on the screen now, I'm going to show you a number of different prints and the types of quality that we've received from those prints. So as you can see, the Snapmaker really did do a good job with this Pipecox model. I'll leave a link in the description for this, but it is a Patreon account and I tend to use all of these models on my reviews because it tests the limit of the printer, but also shows extreme quality of what you can achieve with any printer. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's review of the Snapmaker a350t. Now we focus solely on the 3D printing side of it, and in later videos I will cover the CNC and laser printing, so do check out those videos when they hit the channel soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now my final opinions on the Snapmaker a350 was it was an amazing printer to use. It was difficult to set up, but following their guide, it made it super easy. It did take at least 2 hours, so do put some time aside. But you will learn the whole of this machine, how to use it, how to take it apart, and what things could potentially go wrong. Now, in terms of quality and 3D printing, as you can see from the prints that I've received, they are first class. And it's been enjoyable. So I really like the fact that the Snapmaker is a 3-in-1 opportunity machine. So thanks again to Snapmaker for sending me this printer to review, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely look out for the CNC and laser version of this Snapmaker coming soon to the channel. Thanks again. That's 3DP UK Tech Channel.